skin I'm in. Chapter 13. Why do teachers tell you stuff that you don't want to hear? Like how wonderful their children are, or how big their house is, or what a quiet, pretty neighborhood they live in. It's Miss Saunders' turn, I guess. She comes in telling us she's late because her toilet ran over and she had to clean her white carpets before they got stained. Like we really care. She presses her hand against her gray pinstripe pantsuit. Then she pulls the jacket sleeves down. No gold bracelet today, just a watch on one arm and a thin gold necklace around her neck. Miss Saunders is a motion machine this morning. She sets down her briefcase, throws her black bag into the closet up front, claps her hands together like giant paddles, and tells everybody to get quiet. Then she fans herself with her hand. My landlord had to come over. She's opening and closing drawers looking for who knows what. I'm never late. You guys know that. Now she's fingering the chalk, pacing the room. There's sweat on her face. She leans herself against the desk and rubs her chin like she's trying to find lost words. Well, let's get started, she says, not even seeing what we all see up there on the blackboard. Who can tell me what Shakespeare meant when she begins finally getting a good look at our faces? Everybody's quiet. Who read the 30 pages I assigned last night? Miss Saunders asked. Most of the hands go up, including mine, even though I didn't read none of it. Then let's get to work, she says, heading for the blackboard. When Miss Saunders sees what somebody has drawn, she stops in her tracks, like she's been hit in the stomach. There's a woman's face up there on the blackboard. The left side is smooth and pretty. The right side is cracked and drooping like melting wax. It's done in pink, brown, and blue. It's a mess. That's all I can say. The teacher with two faces. Wiggly words spell it out in blue chalk. Miss Saunders' big hands erase the board with four quick swipes, like a windshield wiper on full speed. Who can sum up yesterday's reading for me? John McIntyre. She says his name real weird, like maybe she ain't just asking him about schoolwork, but accusing him of drawing the picture. We all stare at John. I know he didn't draw the picture. He came into class after me. Miss Saunders carries on with her lesson. Tell me about today's reading assignment. What would you do if you were Romeo and you loved the girl you couldn't have? Dump her, John says, staring right at me. Why sweat it? There's plenty of girls out there. Everybody laughs. John, you wouldn't know. Carrie Miller says, if you ever got a girl to like you, and we all know that ain't never gonna happen, you'll sell your skin to keep her. Miss Saunders slaps her hands together to get off the chalk and asks Carrie to hold her thought. Next thing you know, Miss Saunders is sitting on the corner of Carrie's desk, crossing her legs. Let John tell his story his way. But John, remember, this is the love of your life. Her folks are trying to keep you apart because you're not good enough, so they say. Nobody wants to talk about this stuff, I say under my breath. Miss Saunders starts walking the classroom aisles. What do you want to talk about? She asks us. Why Malika so black? John says. Miss Saunders' eyes shoot his way. Her smile is gone and her arms are folded tight. Sorry, John says, shrugging and folding his arms too. Out of my room, John. Miss Saunders points to the door. But nothing, she says. Man, I'm thinking, why can't she just let it go? Forget about it. Don't she see dragging it out only makes it worse? Next thing I know, John's faking an apology to me, mumbling that he's sorry. Okay, everybody, let's get this thing back on track, Miss Saunders says. Romeo and Juliet. Give me your thoughts, she says, unbuttoning her suit jacket. Romeo and Juliet didn't play by the rules. People had expectations for them, wanted them to act and be a certain way, but they refused. Yeah, and they died anyhow, Worm shouts from the back. So what is your point? You tell me. Anybody here believe strongly enough to die for something or someone? My homies, Eric yells. I'll give up blood for one of my boys. My mama, shouts Desda. Nobody, says Jeremy. Ain't doing no dying for nobody but me. It's cold, but it's true. Don't love nobody as much as my own fine black self, he says, kissing his arm from shoulder to fingertip. Now everybody's cracking up, including Miss Saunders. Yeah, Jeremy loves himself some Jeremy, Raina says. Jeremy starts rubbing his cheeks. You gotta love yourself, baby. If you don't, who will? Romeo loved Juliet. My father loves my mother. People love other people, Desda says. But when they're gone, who's gonna love you? When Romeo died, Juliet killed her stupid self. She loved him more than her own self. Now, does that make sense? Jeremy says. Miss Saunders is on the other side of the room now. She's standing right next to Jeremy. You're saying we shouldn't love people so much? No, I'm saying if you love yourself more than you love me, you will take good care of you. And you won't try to do me in because that's just going to cause problems for you. People who love you, people who love who they are, ain't going to make unnecessary troubles for themselves. Get it? Go ahead, Mr. Philosopher, preach, John John says, slapping him 5. Can we get back to Romeo and Juliet? I say, just to shut him up. But John John interrupts again. You probably didn't even read the book. Why you always on Malika case, John John? Jeremy asks. Shut up, John John says. Make me, Jeremy says, getting out of his seat. I'm smiling big time. John John is getting a taste of some of his own stuff. I like that. This period is almost over and you two ding dongs are wasting time, Worm says. Everybody looks at Worm like he's crazy. Since when did he care about stuff like Romeo and Juliet? Be quiet and let somebody else talk, Carrie says. I wish somebody would kill themselves over me, Deza says. I'd kill myself if I had to kiss those crusted lips, John John butts in. I mean, ain't that the most romantic thing in the world? Somebody who can't live without you? Deza goes on, ignoring John John. No, I say before I think about it. It ain't. I start chewing on my lip, trying to figure my way out of this. But everybody's looking. I keep on talking. When my daddy died 3 years ago, Mama fell apart. She couldn't eat, she couldn't sleep. She stayed up all night long, washing and scrubbing till her hands was raw. I say, chewing on my finger. The class gets so quiet it's scary. I was 10 years old and brushing her teeth, feeding her oatmeal like a baby. She cried all the time. Last year, she finally came to. Got up one day, went and bought a sewing machine, and started making clothes. Ain't never sold nothing before, just started. Day and night, sewing. Some kids at the back of the room start to snicker and make smart remarks. Shut up! I'm thinking, just shut up. The more she sold them clothes, the better she got. She started picking up after herself, got a job and all. No, ain't nothing good come from loving somebody so much you can't live without them, I say. No good at all. Maria asked me why nobody in our family came to help me and Mama when my daddy died. I say that we don't have no relatives, but that ain't the truth. Mama got a sister in New York, and Daddy had brothers all over the place, but they weren't close. And getting in touch with them would have meant taking me away or putting Mama in some institution someplace. I wasn't having that. So we lived off Daddy's Social Security and savings. The classroom gets quiet again. Then the bell rings, busting up the silence like a fist through glass. Chapter 14. A few days later, I'm hanging out with Char and the twins. Char told me I better show up if I know what's good for me. She says she don't like how I'm acting lately, forgetting to do her homework, giving her too much lip. She's right. I'm pushing my luck with her. But maybe I can learn to hang with Char and get along with her too. Fighting her ain't no use. Look where it got me last time in the lunchroom. I'm tired of working in the school office. It's been a few weeks now, and I am still bored stiff. I want to have some fun. So after fifth period, instead of going to the office to work, I head to the lockers with Char and Raina and Ray's. And who do we run into but Miss Saunders, who's on hall duty. The first thing Miss Saunders does is ask me how work is coming in the office. Then she says, I guess you're headed there now. You are working there today, right? Char stays cool for once, and she and the twins start walking ahead of Miss Saunders and me. I'm on my way, I say, turning back around and walking up the hall toward the office. I hear Miss Saunders tells Char and the twins they better hurry up to class or they will have to get a late note to get in. Char says something smart and keeps stepping. A moment later, I hear the school side door exit closing. Miss Saunders walks me to the office like I'm some baby. She's dressed to the nines like usual. She got on gold hoop earrings with dolphins jumping through them, and she's making small talk, asking how I am, asking if I read her latest assignment. That's a designer suit you wear? I asked, knowing full well it is. Miss Saunders fingers the collar. I think so. You think so? Don't you know? Yes, it is, Malika, she says, kind of smart. Real teachers can't afford designer suits. I say before I really think about what I'm saying. I wore suits for my job at the ad agency. Suits are kind of like a uniform, I guess. My mom wears a uniform to work. What you got on ain't no uniform. Miss Saunders nods. I think if I was wearing my own clothes, I would feel like 2 cents next to her. But I am in charge stuff, so I'm holding my own. What are you doing here, Miss Saunders? At McClinton, I mean, I ask. While we walk, Miss Saunders stops every once in a while and picks up a gum wrapper or a soda can tab. I want to teach, she says, plain as day. Then how come you're not at the Catholic school 10 blocks from here or one of them private schools downtown? Miss Saunders doesn't say nothing. She's just walking slow like I got all day. I mean, teachers don't come here because they want to. They get dumped here because they goofed up someplace else, usually. Except Ty, maybe. But you know she's weird. She wanted to come to McClinton, I tell her. Then Miss Saunders gives me a trick question that I ain't expecting. Why are you here? What? I fold my arms tight in front of me. Why are you here? She asked again. I checked your records. Last year you passed the test for Central Middle School across town. You checked my records? I check all of my students' records. In business, you always learn about your clients, who they are, what makes them tick. It helps you do a it helps you to do a better job. It's the same thing with teaching. Know your clients. It bothers me that Miss Saunders knows all my business. You know about us kids, but we don't know nothing about you except where you came from before you got here. That you like suits and jewelry and that you was born with that face. Miss Saunders says there's nothing much to know about her. She's single, she doesn't have any kids. She was working 18-hour days and traveling the country all the time. When she turned 40, she didn't want to do it anymore. 6 months later, she found out about the school board's new plan for letting executives teach in the schools. You gave that up to come here? I asked, reaching down and picking up a broken pen. The business world can be very competitive, Ms. Saunders says. I was always trying to outthink, outperform, even outdress my competitors. It was wearing me down. Well, you're the best dressed one in this place, I say. Miss Saunders reaches for the top button on her suit. You think you ever going back, Miss Saunders? Back to working in a big company? I ask. Miss Saunders shakes her head. No, I think teaching is it for me. You won't miss the money and stuff like that? She shakes her head a second time. We turn the corner and I go into the office. Miss Saunders walks in, throws trash in the garbage can by the door, and keeps on going. It's the first time me and her been together without things falling apart.